one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies.
If you thought the feud between Kevin Hart and Katt Williams was cooling off, think again. The drama between these two comedic heavyweights has reignited, and this time, it's messier than ever. Kevin recently took yet another swipe at Katt during an interview, accusing him of being jealous and bitter. But Katt isn't the type to sit quietly, and he's clapping back hard, calling Kevin a puppet for the Hollywood elite. From accusations of shady industry ties to claims of selling out, this feud is reaching new heights. This isn't the first time Kevin and Katt have gone head-to-head. Their feud has been simmering for years, with Katt relentlessly accusing Kevin of being an industry plant. According to Katt, Kevin's rise to fame wasn't organic. It was manufactured by Hollywood executives who were looking for someone to replace him. Katt claims that after refusing to compromise his integrity, he was blacklisted from the industry, and every opportunity that came his way was handed over to Kevin instead. Katt didn't hold back during an appearance on Club Shay Shay, where he slammed Kevin's career trajectory, calling it a complete fabrication. He accused Kevin of lying about his struggle to the top, saying, "The number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is to act like it didn't happen." Katt went on to highlight Kevin's early successes, like landing a sitcom and a leading role in Soul Plane, as evidence that he was being fast-tracked by Hollywood. Have we ever heard of a comedian coming to LA and immediately landing their own TV show and movie in the first year? That's what a plant looks like, Katt said. Katt has long maintained that his refusal to play by Hollywood's rules is what derailed his career. He even opened up about a controversial scene from Friday After Next, where the script initially called for his character, Money Mike, to be sexually assaulted in a bathroom. Katt flat out refused to shoot the scene, telling producers that it wasn't funny and wouldn't resonate with audiences. "If you let me do this movie without a black man getting assaulted, it'll be twice as funny," Katt reportedly said. But according to Katt, this decision had major consequences.
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, you know, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts? And is that something that, you know, you wouldn't do, you know, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. You know, for me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so, you know, I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on a talk show this morning.
You look good no doing it,
though. Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. You know, at the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. Yeah. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, you know, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
And here come the Cardinals. And from the looks of it, the new pope is not Turkson. The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee, Kavashane Wallace.
Wow. I don't think anyone saw this one coming.
After that, every project I was supposed to star in went to Kevin Hart, he revealed. They wanted someone who would do what they asked, no questions asked. Kevin, however, sees things differently. In an infamous Breakfast Club interview, Kevin blasted Katt for blaming others for his setbacks instead of taking accountability. "You were the guy," Kevin said. "You had the shot and you fumbled it. Studios stopped working with you because you became a risk." Kevin also took aim at Katt's allegations of industry favoritism, dismissing them as baseless. Don't blame the industry for your choices, Kevin said. I've worked hard for everything I have. My presence in comedy will forever be felt. The tension between the two escalated even further when Kevin appeared on Saturday Night Live wearing a wig, a move that Katt saw as a blatant humiliation ritual.
The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got raped in the bathroom, and that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with. Katt Williams had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we're talking about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy,
right,
where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting raped. So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? I lost for a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk, that all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch out? And then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual, because I'm not homosexual, right? It doesn't need that to be funny, right? And me saying that and them going, oh yeah, no problem, and then going to give it to this other guy and having him do it just like it was, and acting like I'm a bad person because I keep standing on my standard. But yeah, it's interesting, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
In the early 2000s, rumors swirled about Hollywood pressuring black men to wear dresses or wigs as a rite of passage to success. Dave Chappelle famously brought this up during an interview with Oprah, where he shared his own experience of being asked to wear a dress for a comedy skit. Dave refused, calling it a tactic to undermine black male comedians. Kevin, at the time, publicly sided with Dave, saying he would never compromise his morals by wearing a dress. But fast forward a few years, and Kevin was on SNL, decked out in a wig and dressed for a sketch. Katt wasted no time calling Kevin out, saying, it wasn't Kevin's fault he wore the dress.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show. No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
One moment where I've actually talked about Katt publicly, and this was when
I think it was on Breakfast Club.
My frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Katt was in that position at one point.
You were the guy. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh.
It was just his turn. Katt argued that Kevin's willingness to comply with Hollywood's demands was part of why he was being pushed as the face of comedy. While Katt was blacklisted, Kevin defended his decision to wear the wig, tweeting, I wore a dress on SNL because I thought it was funny. I made that decision. Nobody forced me. Despite Kevin's attempts to distance himself from Katt's accusations, the public hasn't been so quick to let it go. Many fans sided with Katt, saying his willingness to stand up for his principles made him a target. Others pointed out that Kevin's rise seemed unusually fast, lending credence to Katt's claims of industry favoritism. One fan wrote, Katt spoke the truth about Hollywood, and they punished him for it. Kevin just went along with the program. Another said, Kevin knows he's sold out. That's why he's so defensive every time Katt calls him out. After years of back and forth, you'd think Kevin and Katt would bury the hatchet, but Kevin's recent comments suggest otherwise. In a new interview with Charlemagne Tha God, Kevin said he regretted ever addressing Katt's accusations, calling the entire feud a waste of time. Why even respond? There's no gain in going back and forth with him, Kevin said. It's not worth my energy. Katt, however, wasn't about to let that slide. In a fiery Instagram live session, he challenged Kevin to a comedy face-off, offering to put $5 million on the line. We can do whatever you want. Basketball, rap battle, comedy showdown. Bring it, Katt said. But don't bring your Hollywood handlers with you. At the heart of this feud lies a deeper conversation about the sacrifices artists are expected to make for fame and success. Katt's accusations of Hollywood exploitation and Kevin's insistence on personal accountability represent two very different perspectives on the entertainment industry. So, what do you think? Is Kevin Hart really an industry plant, or is Katt Williams just bitter about losing his spot? And what do you make of Katt's claims about Hollywood rituals? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our next video for more juicy drama.